So here we are, my next small block Chevy project. I got this from the Junkyard this week. It's a 638 block. It came from a 94 Chevy pickup half ton, and it's a 2-bolt main. It's equipped for a roller cam, although it came as a flat tappet engine in a TBI truck. It has a fuel pump provision, which I like. And that's about it. I'll show you a few different views of the block here. It's very similar to the 880 I built last year, which was a 95 block, and this one's equipped in almost identical fashion. Even though it didn't have it, it's got the drilled and tapped holes for the cam rotator plate on the front of the engine. Here's a fully drilled fuel pump boss, even though obviously this truck had a electric fuel pump, being a TBI engine. Drilled and tapped lifter spider provisions in the valley here, which is nice. I will be putting a Vortec cam in this engine. It's going to go in a TBI truck, my Yukon, eventually, because the thing has a lot of miles on it, and it's still running just fine, but this will be in preparation. If you're at the yard, depending on the status of the engine, you might be able to see this casting number on the front of the block on the driver's side. It says 638, and not all 638 blocks look like this. But this one pretty much is identical to the 880 I had last year that I built a 383 out of for my old truck. So anyway, I was looking for a 638 or 880, and this one was convenient. So here we are. If for some reason you can't see the front of the block, you can look around the bell housing flange, and here's the full casting number, 638. Also, if you're trying to differentiate a TBI 350 from a TBI 305, it says 5.7 liter, just like the 880 block I have. On both sides of the block, there's a 638 casting down near the motor mounts, and this one has that as well. This is a 2-bolt block, which will be more than enough for the very mild 383 I'm going to build for my TBI Yukon. And one thing I like about these blocks, this block and the 880 I built last year, is down at the bottom of the cylinders there's a notch, and that's going to help you with connecting rod clearance. I don't know what rods I'm going to run in this yet because this is a ways out, but I did a little more grinding there on the last one I built, but it makes it much easier right from the factory. So GM, I don't know what they were thinking, but they did us a favor. There's a full view of the bottom. Again, it looks just like the 880 I built last year, so it's going to be a perfect candidate for a very mild 383. The one thing that is different in this engine, I will show you here, the connecting rods. Here's the connecting rods. Obviously I have the engine disassembled. These are just old school 5.7 rods. This is a 94 block. The last one I built, the 880, was a 95, and that one had powdered metal rods in it. This one does not. So they must have transitioned between 94 and 95 to powdered metal rods on these truck engines. Or it may have depended on the assembly plant. I do not know. But I may or may not reuse these. I don't know. I ended up putting scat rods in the last one. So anyway, that was the only difference I noticed in this engine versus the 95 880 block I built last year. So anyway, there's you a quick overview of mid-90s later 638 block. Thanks guys.